What's up, y'all? It's Mike with Ohlone Cigar Lounge and Smoking the Base Cigar Review. I am here at the SOMM Sommelier Rioja release event at Ohlone Cigar Lounge. I am joined by my special guest, Vlad.
Hey guys, this is Vlad from SOMM Cigars. I'm very happy to be here at Ohlone. We're super grateful that they are one of our partners for the pre-release of the SOMM Rioja, the Robusto size in a 5x54. They're only one of the handful of the stores. So far, phenomenal. We're down to basically a box, so phenomenal first release, I think. Yeah, Mike, I mean, what else can I say?
All good. So tell me real quick, before we get into the product on the table, what got you into cigars and what's your passion about cigars with SOMM?
What got me into cigars is wine. So my first cigar was an exceptional one. I didn't know it at the time.
Okay.
But in 2009, I did my introductory sommelier training in Europe, and it was a 6-week course.
Okay.
About 4 days a week, 4 hours a day, and in the last week we had two full days of just cigars. So one was all theory, the second one was actually tasting something, and my first cigar was a Cuban punch. Right, I lived in Europe. Cubans were probably 95% of the market. And I remember my mentor leading it off like, you don't have to smoke cigars. This isn't part of the course. Like, it's not required to pass, but you should be aware of this because this is part of your tool set.
Yes.
Me just getting my toes dipped into the wine world, it really spoke to me because the terroir translates how you treat it in the actual factory, how it ages, how it's blended. And it's such a incredibly complex world of flavors that you can do in just about anything you want. It always appealed to me. I've helped narrow down blends before, but I've never truly sat down and just blended something by myself.
Okay.
Until I did the BDX, or Bordeaux, short name for Bordeaux.
That's a good cigar.
I really enjoyed it. It was incredible, and I have to admit, I kind of lucked out because I've literally done it right on the first try. I kind of just went back to my palate and was like, okay, I think the combination of these tobaccos can work together between their flavor profiles.
Okay.
Made a horrible roll, and I actually have a picture of that. I'm actually embarrassed how bad it was. If you ever had a Middle Eastern dolma, and you've seen, right, like the grape leaves rolled with meat or rice, it looked kind of like that, so the roll was horrendous. I lit it up, smoked a little bit. Brian from Cavalier was sitting next to me. He took a puff and he goes, wow, this is like, there's something here. So sent it to the floor, made 5 samples, smoked it between him, myself, Sebastian, Jack, and the master blender Raul from the factory. And we're like, this is great, this is it. And we just put them in production. So,
nice.
Nailed it on the first try.
That's great.
The SOMM Rioja is my second real attempt at like blending it from the ground up. I needed just a little bit of that, to get pushed to past the finish line at the end. I got it 99% there, but that 1% required just the incredible craftsmanship experience and skill of Eladio Diaz.
Okay.
So he helped me with that final blend to eke out all the sweetness available in the blend, and it's just, I mean, I don't think I could have done a better job, so hopefully I'm 2 out of 2.
Gotcha. All right, so let's check out the cigar on the table.
First blend that I did, the Bordeaux, or the BDX for short. This uses a San Andreas Maduro wrapper from Mexico, a Viso Jalapa, both aged for 3 years, and then the actual star of the blend is going to be the Honduran broadleaf, a completely new type of tobacco at the time, only used by a small number of cigars, to my knowledge, at least on the market. This, I believe, is a blend that truly highlights this particular tobacco, rather than what we're used to really getting out of broadleaf, which is those big, earthy, meaty flavors. This is the exact opposite. This offers a ton of sweetness. I would say primarily the cereal, the grains, bourbon mash, and also a ton of sweetness in the form of raisins, plums, and just stewed fruit in general. The incredible portion of it is that on a flavor scale from 1 to 5, this is 4.5 to 5, so it's just purity of flavor. From a strength standpoint, it really doesn't push past a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5. So you get a ton of flavor with very, very little strength. And then to round off the fillers, it's going to be Viso Jalapa again, aged for 3 years, and then San Andreas in the filler as well. Ultimately, it ends up having a beautiful profile, which is going to combine dark chocolate, milk chocolate, a little bit of earthiness from that San Andreas, the milk chocolate from the Jalapa, and then the cereal grains, the sweetness, the plums, the raisins, everything else from the Panera broadleaf. Basically everything but the kitchen sink. Has three beautifully distinct transitions, including a small little fourth that happens in the last about inch and a half, where you get the spice in the form of white and black pepper. This story tends to extend a little bit in the larger sizes, like the Toro in the 6x60 box press. So you get a touch more of that spice. It tends to show up a little earlier in the last third. Absolutely delicious, and I think it really does justice to what Panera broadleaf does. I'm excited to see more blends come with this, just to see what, you know, more experienced blenders can get out of this tobacco and what their interpretation is. This is mine, and you know, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I really like it. So the next blend that I worked on is going to be the Rioja. Rioja is named after the Spanish wine region of Rioja and its famed Gran Reserva wines. The color scheme kind of follows through on that, with this rich, deep blue color and the silver that's present in there. As far as the profile and the blend itself, it is almost entirely driven by Dominican tobacco with a binder of Mexican Sumatra that's been treated in a particular way. I'll just leave it at that. If you compare it to the BDX box, it's a little less transparent in terms of all the tobaccos that I've used, and that is primarily as a result of not wishing to disclose what Eladio Diaz and his factory's expertise really managed to get out of these tobaccos. Full flavor, medium body, medium strength, and I think it represents what Dominican Republic can do in an incredible way. As far as the flavor profile goes, milk chocolate, vanilla, cedar, oak, a ton of sweetness, creaminess, and this underlying tone of sweetness that comes through, and primarily a combination of hazelnuts, almonds, and walnuts. Just a touch of spice all the way in the retro. Very, very exciting blend, and I mean, this is basically all that we have left. Very excited to see it get into more hands. I'm looking forward to your guys' experience with it. Please reach out at Vlad the SOMM on Instagram. Let me know if you loved it, hated it, you know, and anything else you can share with me. So all the swag items come from two spots. One is, I will not release something as accessories or swag if I'm not going to personally use it. The lighter is probably the best example. This is a dual flame, so it combines a soft flame and a torch. And this is born out of both laziness and annoyance on my part. Vegas gets super windy, and one day I was sitting out on my beautiful patio, about 117 degrees outside. I just blocked myself down, lit up a cigar, or tried to light up a cigar using a soft flame when a gust of wind came through. So I was annoyed, primarily because I was feeling lazy. I didn't want to get up out of my chair and go inside the house, get my torch, and then use it again. And about 4 months later, this is the product. I've sourced it out to really, it was a solution that annoyed me, and hopefully it solves a lot of problems that you guys encounter as well. I specifically like that it's a single torch for precision. Gives you a lot of control over how you're going to light your cigar. The next one is going to be my coffee mug. Primarily, I like drinking Americanos. That's my go-to drink of choice. Sometimes I'll do an espresso, but primarily I'm an Americano drinker, which is just espresso with hot water. So really, this was the perfect size for me. I love it. We run a couple of promos with that. I use this mug basically around the house, so I hope you guys enjoy using it as much as I've enjoyed making it. And then we got the backpack. So the backpack was born out of necessity and just a simple solution. I wanted something that I could just throw on my back. I could fit my laptop in there, and because it rains so often in Vegas, I really just wanted to make it waterproof as well. Again, being on the go, one of the number one things that I tend to forget is a charger. In fact, I actually forgot a charger today, and the Ohlone guys were so kind to give me access to theirs. So this backpack also has a power bank. You basically a power bank outlet that you can just plug it on the go, and you can recharge your phone. Aside from that, I mean, it also helps you carry the cigars with multiple handy pockets. I made this and I use it basically whenever I travel, whenever I'm taking day trips. In fact, for the trip today, because I'm flying in and out, this is all I brought with. So as we're gonna fire this guy up, I'm gonna do a little bit of a pairing. Pairing things and enjoying beverages has always been a big part of my career. I personally enjoy doing it, and I feel it can enhance the cigar as long as you do it properly. We're going to do 2 different ones, and having in mind that it's January, a lot of people, practice dry January where they don't drink alcohol. I've decided to use 2 different non-alcoholic distilled spirits from FLUÈRE. One is a smoked agave. The smoked agave is basically your, mezcal or agave spirit, just non-alcoholic. So think of your mezcals or tequilas. A lot of herbaceousness, a touch of smokiness. It'll pair perfectly with cigars, and it's a great, easy pairing. It's a great, easy way to pair cigars without overwhelming it, because ultimately the body on that combination is going to be a light to medium. I'm going to make one right now. First one we're going to do is going to be the smoked agave. I'm going to make a variation on a paloma, which is basically just agave spirit, grapefruit, and lime. So both of these are meant to be mixed, so it shouldn't be enjoyed on its own. We're going to use the LaCroix grapefruit, pour a little bit in there. And we're going to finish off with a splash of lime. Make sure that it all evens out. There we go. I'm going to pass it to you. So the second one is going to be the FLUÈRE Spiced Cane. Think of a non-alcoholic version of rum. This is going to have a lot of baking spices, cinnamon, nutmeg. It is also going to have flavors, to me, reminiscent of almost like a baked apple pie or an apple tart. Very, very beautiful. 2 very easy cocktails of sorts to make. One is going to be just using ginger ale, or you can use it for a classic rum and Coke, right? So we're going to put a little bit of ginger ale, and then we're going to finish it off with a little bit of lime. This is going to be more of a complementary pairing. When it comes to pairing, there's two different ways to pair. One is going to be complementary, where you're trying to highlight the flavors that are already present in the cigar, and the other one would be contrasting. So in the smoked agave, the example would be contrasting because you're adding, none of those flavors are found in cigars, as opposed to the spiced cane, which is going to have both a little bit of that cinnamon, the nutmeg, the baking spices, and that just warm, sweet apple pie. Obviously not something that you can find in cigars, so think of it as adding an extra layer of flavor. Body-wise, this is going to be medium, so it's going to pair basically across the spectrum. There's a little bit of sugar to counteract any nicotine, and obviously it's going to be served cold, so it refreshes your palate and you're good to go.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank Vlad for joining us here at Ohlone Cigar Lounge, for telling us more about SOMM Sommelier cigars and the Rioja that's being released. Vlad, you have anything to tell them?
Absolutely. Guys, thank you for the support. We went through all the Robustos, and there's a little bit of Toros left. Fantastic launch event. Please comment on this video, because one of the comments will win a SOMM backpack and a hat. You can choose between a black or a blue one, like the ones we have. P.S. You want the blue one? It's really killer. So just comment, and Mike will pick one at random. Thank you for the support, and make sure you subscribe to this channel.
And make sure you guys pick up the SOMM Sommelier Selection BDX and the new Rioja. Great cigars. I reviewed it last week, as you saw the review I did for it last week.
Appreciate that. You did a great job.
And also a couple months ago, I did the BDX review, a full review.
Oh, sweet! I gotta read up on it. Sorry, listen to it.
Definitely. So you join us down here at Ohlone Cigar Lounge in Fremont, California. Check me out on Smoking the Bay Cigar Review on YouTube, TikTok, and Rumble. And
I'll see you guys next time around for their anniversary party, which is on 4/20.
4/20.
I know.
Okay.
It's cigar driven. Don't worry about it.
You have social media you want to talk on?
I just use Instagram. You can find me at Vlad the SOMM, so feel free to shoot a message. I try to do a couple of educational videos. So just, throw a follow, throw a question if you have it. I typically have a pretty good response time.
There it is. Vlad, my man. Appreciate it.
Thanks again for everything.
Take care, guys.